Humans have always feared monsters. But in ancient myths, the real monsters were often the gods themselves. They controlled storms, destroyed kingdoms, and sometimes they committed crimes so horrifying. A father who swallowed his own children, a god who flooded the world in rage, a king of heaven who punished humans for giving mankind fire. These weren't demons. These were gods. This is the crime of gods. In ancient Greek mythology, the titan Cronus feared one thing more than death: losing power. A prophecy warned him that one of his own children would overthrow him. So Cronus made a horrifying decision. Every time his wife gave birth, he swallowed the child alive, all consumed by their own father. But eventually, one child escaped, Zeus. And years later, Zeus returned to destroy the tyrant who had consumed his family. Zeus is remembered as the king of gods, but many ancient stories describe him as cruel, jealous, and terrifying. One of the darkest examples came after a titan named Prometheus gave fire to humanity. To humans, fire meant survival, warmth, knowledge, civilization. But Zeus saw it as rebellion, and his punishment was brutal. Prometheus was chained to a mountain. Every single day, an eagle tore out his liver. Every single night, the organ regenerated. And every morning, the torture began again, forever. But Zeus didn't stop there. He also punished humanity itself. According to myth, Zeus created Pandora and sent her to Earth carrying a mysterious box. When it opened, disease, suffering, pain, death, all escaped into the world. Because one god wanted revenge. Ancient myths from around the world all shared one terrifying idea: that humanity had once been nearly wiped out. In Greek mythology, Zeus decided mankind had become corrupt, so he sent a massive flood to destroy civilization. The sky turned black, and the ocean swallowed entire kingdoms. Only a few survivors remained. But the Greek gods were not the only terrifying figures in mythology. One of the most feared was Medusa, a woman cursed into a monster. Anyone who looked into her eyes would turn instantly to stone. Some myths described her as evil, but others described her as a victim, a monster created by the cruelty of gods. And then there was Ragnarok, the Norse prophecy of the end of the world. In the final battle, even the gods were destined to die. The sun would disappear, the earth would sink into darkness, and civilization would vanish forever. Maybe the scariest monsters in mythology were never the monsters at all. But beyond Greece and the North, other civilizations feared gods just as terrifying. In Egyptian mythology, the gods ruled over both life and death, and one god was feared more than almost any other: Anubis, the god of the dead. He guided souls into the afterlife and judged the hearts of the dead. If a soul was found guilty, it would be destroyed forever. But even the Egyptian gods fought among themselves. The most dangerous was Set, god of chaos, violence, and destruction. According to legend, Set murdered his own brother Osiris and plunged Egypt into darkness. But mythology wasn't only about gods. It was also about fear. Fear of nature, fear of death, and fear of the unknown. Because thousands of years ago, humanity looked into the darkness and imagined gods staring back. But ancient people didn't only fear the skies above them. They feared what waited beneath the earth. In nearly every civilization, there was a god of the dead. In Greece, it was Hades, ruler of the world below, the place where lost souls wandered forever. And guarding its gates was a creature no human could escape. But Greece wasn't alone. In Norse mythology, the dead traveled to Hell, a kingdom ruled by a terrifying goddess. In ancient Egypt, souls faced judgment after death. And in every culture, the message was always the same: death was never the end. It was only the beginning. And somewhere deep beneath the ancient world, the gods of the underworld were still waiting. For thousands of years, humanity feared the gods. They built temples, They offered sacrifices, and they prayed the world would survive. Because every mythology carried the same terrifying message. The gods could return at any moment, and when they did, humanity would face judgment once again. Maybe these stories were never just myths. Maybe they were warnings, and somewhere beyond the storms, they are still watching. If you enjoyed this dark mythology documentary, subscribe to Case Uncovered for more mysteries, true stories, ancient legends, forbidden history, and terrifying secrets from the past. Because sometimes, the oldest stories are the darkest ones.